Morodok, Morodok, Sampea. Pea is the shell of the coconut. Pea. Sam is, uh, big brother. Sam, Uncle Sam. Pea is in Bajau is the coconut shell. So last night I saw the news. It's not really news, but it's been said the threats to Iran, to Baron Trump has been repeatedly said by Donald Trump because he's probably pressured by Bibi Netanyahu, Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel, because he couldn't keep his mouth shut, just like me. I want, don't shoot me, I respect. So sometimes last night I thought of, maybe Donald Trump should be, because he's finished anyway. He's finished. It's also his last terms. And what would happen? What would happen if he gets killed and JD Vance would succeed him, and then what? 48 presidents would be what? JD Vance. Would that help? And then what? I will be what? 49 president. Just to put it simply, I'm like Donald Trump, or I make news, so yes, I speak. Sometimes people say that this is stupidity. No, it's not. It makes news. I make news. So yes, that is also, instead of, because the threats from Donald Trump administrations to Iran, to Baron Trump, his son Baron, is so repeated. And what would happen if Iran is, pressurized? Israel would be gone. And I don't care, because what a short rule, what a short independence. Like, not even 100 years, Israel, just another 1.5 1+ years. Israelis, you all want to eliminate Baron Trump. Iran. This Donald Trump is, the death, the death of the father. That Cinderella or Baron of Iran has to pay. Why don't you, Donald Trump, be paying for it? So what would happen if Donald Trump gets killed? It's actually relevant. Is on the 40th on Bongbong Marcos now, and Bongbong Marcos would get killed as well, and Sara Duterte would be automatically be replaced by the vice president, the vice president, the vice ganda, ang ganda, ang ganda ka. So JD Vance would be replaced. I mean, Donald Trump would be replaced by uh, JD Vance. If this happens, and also Bong Bong will be killed, and then if they're not doing their job, I mean Donald Trump and also for example Anwar Ibrahim as well. So, and then what would happen? 48 presidents would be, let's say, JD, and then JD will get killed and replaced by DI, from Indonesia, for example. KD, KD. It's not JD but KD. So, and then the 50th presidents and the 50th ASEAN Summit the New World Executive Order by me. So I would be the 50th president of the United States of America is so relevant. So a lot of leaders would be killed. A lot of leaders would be killed under Yoda. Under Yoda, Vladimir Putin. So, like, I don't care. I have to complete my, like, even if I am slow, I will take it, slowly. I'm not gonna rush. I don't do rushing because when I rush, just like when I play when I play the arrow go or amaze go, if I rush it, sometimes I make one or two mistakes, so I don't rush. So I make sure that I listen to the song here in my heart, a melody I start. But I will complete. So listen by Beyonce, Knowles. So stop pressurizing Donald Trump. If he gets what I know is that stop pressurizing. Oh, you will get kicked, Donald Trump. So Donald Trump will get killed. So Anwar Prime as well. And after that, JD Vance will be killed as well as Bongbong Marcos and Sarah Netanyahu will be succeeding him. And then the 49th ASEAN Summit would be in Indonesia. So Indonesia is Diana, for example, Risa Ina, Rona Rona, Diana. I'm the evil. I'm the number 5 evil. I'm the evil brown. So evil brown like Ketanji Brown. The first woman, Helen of Troy, hot Helen of Troy. That needs eyes, And of course, there would be a World War III because the ship would be sinking, like the Helen of Troy, the woman of 1,000 sinking ships. For example, Singapore will be gone as well because they, the ships. What is the name of the hotel in Singapore? Yeah, it's a little Singapore. I mean, like. And Singaporeans are quite tambay, tambelang and arrogant. I remember Singaporeans are quite tambelang. And also, I woke up this morning. I woke up from vivid dreams. So vivid that few actually, few dreams, and it's just I remember all of it. But of course, dreams need interpretations, and you know needs interpretations. For example, in my dream, I was recommended by Rastro to meet Anne Ratchaburi. I don't know what's her family name. You know the Miss Universe Thailand directress Anne. You know, is it just Thailand or is it the owner of the Miss Universe? Aside from Raul Rocha, Raul Roch, the cockroach Raul Roch. Um, Anne Ratchaburi. So her name in my dream is Anne Ratchaburi. But I know the interpretations. For example, Ratchaburi, Racha, B-U-R-I, things like that. So, but it turned out to be, Papa Nawal, the presidents of the MGIO stars, Miss Grand International stars. And I hate Papa Nawal because of the show, because of the show. So the show reflects about who he is. So he's he didn't pass the test. The show that Papa Nawat produced based on what I saw. I mean, what a failure! What a failure! You know. Papa Nawat, it's Sarah Grisel. So, and also in my dream, the last one, I kind of dream about Anwar Ibrahim, the 10 presidents. I mean, the 10 prime ministers. I mean, I believe the democracy would be the end resorts, because the kingdomhood, for example, is irrelevant. For example, Hassan al-Bolkiah or is irrelevant. Or for example, Ibrahim Iskandar, for example, is I believe is I believe is irrelevant. Parliamentary is irrelevant. I believe dictatorship that controls the democracy, because democracy under God, and God is the dictator like Kim Jong-un. So parliamentary shouldn't work. For example, what happened to the English, for example. I remember, from the beginning of my mission and vision, is like I met Elizabeth 2 to 3 times in my vivid dreams. That is after her, after her death. So I met her, and then I went to England. This is sort of. I went to England, and she just shook my hand. And then the second dream that I had was she was ashamed of herself. She was like in a mistida, and I was like very high, and she was so small, and she was sitting next to the children, and then the third was when I had a dream about her. It's just like that's why she chose Hermione Aliu, so my cousin, who is also the number five. Number five, it is like me, number five. And she, it should be political. It's like, for example, how she chose the uneducated. For example, my cousin, why didn't she choose me? I mean, like, I'm, university graduate and bright as well. Why didn't she choose me? Why didn't she choose someone who is qualified to rule compared to the uneducated, for example, and she doesn't speak English and she didn't even graduate high school, and I did, and my major and my specialty is what, you know, English, major in English. So I'm not bothered about the engineer, about the economy. For example, in a university, a lot of courses. So my focus is like, Mr. Brown and the English teacher, Mr. Brown. You know, the teacher who would teach the English people, English teacher. You know, what happened in history about, this, William Shakespeare and all this white people. Pru, are you okay, Pru?
Yeah.
Did you do exercise?
Yes.
Great. Yeah, I mean, like, why would she choose my cousin and not me? Like, just like how she chose Charles, another uneducated. It's like, why would, like, I studied English. I'm majored in English. And with Anna, and she choose my cousin. No, I'm not like. It's not like I'm jealous that she would choose uneducated or illiterate. No, I would be happy for my cousin, you know. But why didn't Charles go to Mintalan and South Korean to, or why didn't she, while she was alive, why didn't she go to Mintalan and South Korean territory and crown her and crown, like Hermione Alisa is married to Ronald, Ronald, the father of Priscilla. The father of Priscilla is Ronald, like Ronald Reagan, whose whose brother whose brother happened to be named after Reagan, so and Reagan royal, royal, all this, the royal family, like what happened in 1985, right, with Ronald Reagan, right? So, and of course, when it comes to the World War II or World War One, for example, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, yes, and that's what would happen. For example, if there would be World War III. So Israel will be what? What a short rule! What a short independence for Israel. If it continues to pressurize Donald Trump, Like, can't they wait? Can't they wait? I mean, like, less than 2 years, to achieve the what? Executive order. When I do 40. 4 stands for in IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet. 4 means D. 1 A B C D D. 4 1 2 3 4 4. So 4 and 0 and 0 1 2 3 4 5 is 15. So do, like Chinese, like they do. So when I reach the age of 40, so I'll do not regret, okay, rub, redo, those I will do. So at the age of 40, so it's see to do. I just last night I posted a video of me, and I no actually C to do. C I means 39. C A B C 1 2 3. C is 3, and the I, like I'm 39 years old, so C I 39. I means 9. A B C D F G H I J. 9. So C I 39. I'm 39 years old, and America is in deficit. You know, the so-called the death of the father is being paid by what, Cinderella, the princess. But who is the Prince Charming? Must be Pakistani. Okay, must be Pakistani. Pakistani. I could be the prince as well. So it's only 22 minutes. Let me listen to my other double. Mikey, come here, sayang. Are you listening to me, sayang? Mikey, Mikey, so I say, Katrina great. So couldn't wait until 2028. 2028. He just gets right apart, loving my brain with his finger, shaking my life with killing me softly with his song. Ketanji Brown is a brown. That is also possible. A lot of, a lot of irrelevant leaders who, the preachers, they are not like Chinese. They do. Chinese do. They don't complain. They don't preach. They just do. So that would be a possibility where Donald Trump would be killed, and then JD Vance would succeed him, and then after that, the 48 minutes, and then what? as soon as he gets killed, Anwar Ibrahim will be killed as well. Who else? And then between Bongbong Marcos and Jerry Vance, the vice president that will succeed Donald Trump, for example, he will be killed as well, and Bongbong Marcos will be killed as well, or maybe in prison, because I don't like failures, I don't like failures. But of course, that the wait for what I learned, they should learn more, what I learned, they should do as what the Chinese would ask them to do. You know, the doer, they should copyright whatever the Chinese are doing. Or, whatever the best in other countries, for example, whatever the best they have, they just copyright it. For the love of the country and the people. Exactly.
If it was my choice, I would always go for my way. Or when you believe,
May sayang.
I believe when you believe is the best. Mariah with Mariah. Believing in anything possible within. If nobody believes in you, believe in yourself. And someone who believes in you,
You need someone to believe in you, and that someone is you.
is you. The only one who you trust to believe in you, that is you.
And all this careless whisper from the vivid dreams, for example, I have to stick to the goal, even if it, the 7 years timeline, Otherwise, they would have to go up and bring me, for example, what happened to Jose Rizal, transfer.
Because I would love to post this one.
For example, in my, in my car ride, YufRIZAL Sulaiman, right? YufRIZAL Sulaiman, so my name before then was YufRIZAL, the Jose Rizal, YufRIZAL Sulaiman. The Sulaiman means Solomon or the Sol Oman, the story of Sulaiman in the Abrahamic faith, So that YufRIZAL Sulaiman was betrayed, and that's why I had the same for example path with him. They know the story of Jose Rizal in the Philippines. YufRIZAL Sulaiman. There's the bank statements, they receive based on the public bank, and the notice. So after all the things that he did, YufRIZAL Sulaiman, after all the things, his novels is, after, the hero, for example, the national hero of the Filipinos is YufRIZAL Sulaiman, for example, Jose Rizal, the dead. You only consider people hero when they're dead, just like the dead, God is the dead, things like that. And just like Muslims, right? when someone is dead, right? They worship. So you only worship. They only worship the hero when they are dead. Like what? Like what is the Taj Mahal? You know the Taj Mahal. You know Taj Mahal. Mahal. Mahal means love in Tagalog in Filipino. Mahal, Taj Mahal. You know when love is dead, then that's when they worship. Like for example, worshipping the dead hero. I like what happened to, like, for example, the artist, right? For example, like Celine Dion or Michael Jackson. People were crying over him. People are like crying or things like that while he was alive. And that's what I want for my son. I don't want to be a dead hero. Can see your way through the rain. Smallest things, Brazilian bars, that heartbeat that we It's only 32 minutes. I mean, I've been, I've been talking. My kiki, my kiki. You will have the You have blue eyes, Jaya? You have blue eyes now? Where are the other colors? Black eyes? Gigi, Jaya? My devil, Catriona Gray, my devil. Falling hair. Kiki, you need more shaving, Kiki. Proo. I think he needs more shaving. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna tell you there's some method. Why don't you shave it properly, and let it grow back properly. Not
yeah.
tail.
Kiki, you have falling hair. Ugly. I did shave. What are you looking at? So yes, something came. Uh, why YufRIZAL SULAYMAN, meaning Y as YufRIZAL SULAYMAN, BES, I mean like Universal Sener, for example, right? YufRIZAL Jose Rizal, the national hero of the Filipinos, for the Filipinos. So why don't Bongbong Marcos, which just do, would just be, would just do, or like Bong Revilla, he's in prison for the corruption, for example. Why don't Bongbong Marcos just do what he's supposed to do? You know, do whatever it takes, you know, or he will get killed, for example. Just like Anwar, he just needs to do what he's supposed to do. While I'll have to complete a melody I have started, I have to complete. So listen, and Donald Trump as well. He wouldn't be pressurizing Baron Trump, his son Baron, like Iran. You know the connection, like Iran, Israel. So the news only comes from me, okay? The new, because I'm the new face, new piece, new face. I mean news, news A, like North Korea, news A, news and channel A, in North Korea, aviation, fa, aba. Like I have a dream, a song to sing, and things like that. So why don't, while I'm completing my mission, while I am trying to complete my mission and vision, why don't they do what they are supposed to do? Especially Bongbong Marcos, for example, Anwar Ibrahim is actually doing his job, just like Donald Trump is doing his job, except that he's pressured, so he would pressure Iranians. If someone is pressured and real pressure was under him. Those who they could control, you know. So this is not a rush hour, like I take time to learn. So while I'm learning, you know, I
哎，Ross，
Yes。
你把你的那幅画，我只给他这一张吗？
哈？
我只给他这一张吗？
对对对。
哎，你把你的那张给我呀。
我没有啊，我只是一张，另外一张是卡塔的，不一样的，这个是电梯的，那个没有用的。
so the colors of commerce, the Bachelor of Commerce, for example, is of course Chinese. But in university, there are a lot of colleges or departments, right? So in Universal Center, or YufRIZAL, SULAYMAN, or for example YufRIZAL, the University of YufRIZAL or YufRIZAL SULAYMAN, Bintalan Elementary School, BES or YS or I. So it should be built for YufRIZAL. The university should be built for YufRIZAL, for the national hero. If they love that, so that like Taj Mahal, like the Taj Mahal in India is like, so that university, that Universal Center will be built in the Trinity series. Tirun, Nusa Nusa or Bintaran Military School, so Taiwan, Tabawan. So yes, of course, what I need is the city planner, and the city planner will have under him you would have like a developer, and under developer they have like architects, engineers, and of course don't forget the financiers would be Chinese, the financiers would be Chinese, and of course all the shipments of materials would be, of course, what cannot money do? A lot of people would be willing to work for the national hero. For example, Filipinos. The national hero of the Philippines is YufRIZAL. So YufRIZAL SULAYMAN. So yes. The bankers, I mean, yeah, the piggy banks. So that university will be built for the Filipinos national hero, YufRIZAL, or YufRIZAL SULAYMAN. You know what I'm saying? So, but it shouldn't be like what happens to. It shouldn't be built like Dubai. No, it cannot be like that, because it should be built. That's why the city planner and then put this and put that, like the arrow board, the maze code. So should be put one by one. It cannot be just like like it cannot be like what happened to Dubai. I mean, like it should be like step by step. But of course, it should be like the maze, but based on the intelligence design, intellectually designed, the city planner. So he is like a Tirun and Pintalan Nusa, and this is and there is like a current between between this between these islands. So yes, when it comes to electricity, yes, for the engineering and you know, yeah, engineer, architects, of course the workers they need what? Just like engineers, architects, they need what? They need money. I mean, they need salary, for example. Who would give them salary? The banks or the Chinese? Okay, the financial, the Chinese. So a lot of abandoned islands in in the Philippines. So when it comes to the global order or world order, meaning new world order, meaning should be under one. For example, Xi Jinping. So whatever Xi Jinping has to has to do, because under one, right? Under one. For example, democracy under God. For example, constitution under God. So it should be under Xi Jinping. So whatever Xi Jinping wants and whatever Xi Jinping needs should be followed. Should be followed. I mean, what's wrong with the snakes? I mean, how many snakes won't bite? Snakes won't bite. But the question is, how many snake have killed compared to other, for example, disease or the even, for example, you know, overdose from whatever. How many snakes have killed? Almost not existent, really. So the snakes, for example, Xi Jinping, he wouldn't he wouldn't bite unless threatened. Unless threatened. What's wrong with snake? Nothing is wrong with it, with being a snake. Okay, a snake is actually the best. It keeps, like, for example, like every hero is like learning. So shedding all the skins and transforming, shedding. I mean, like and then transforming and then up until, for example, the Buligasoa, meaning I am Xi Jinping's diamond. For example, Buligasoa is like the snake is is holding its diamond or its jewel, right? Its jewel. The snake is withholding its jewel until that snake could find someone who could, who who it could trust. You know what I'm saying? So Xi Jinping wouldn't just let me, you know. I mean, you cannot just let the most expensive, for example, whatever, for example, Africa or whatever country, you know, that he holds dearly. So yeah, so that's the concept of, how many people have died from mosquitoes, the mass. How many people have died from mosquitoes, the malaria and all this cholera, for example, compared to snakes. So I mean, why should a snake be interpreted as bad? I mean, no. Mosquitoes. I mean, the noisy mosque that it bites me sometimes, and like out of the blue. Sometimes when I speak about it, right? I mean, for example, now there's no mosquitoes, but sometimes all of the silence, even if it's just magically appeared and bites. You know what I'm saying? They smokes. They smokes. The mosquitoes, and of course, I would, you know, I would not let they would die out. For example, just the mosque in Nusa Nusa in Taran, right, or in Tabor, it you know it would die out. I mean, the noise from the mosque, mosquitoes, they would die out. For example, people would, especially if they hear what I'm if they hear my message, right, because it's like mosquitoes and those who are praying 5 times a day. That's why I cannot let any president or prime minister, like that's why they are not uh, considered as world leaders, because they are just like stupid. How would you, like, stupid, right? So why would I allow any Muslim, especially who like errors, right? They're still praying 5 times a day. Why would I allow world leaders to pray to the dead, and not worshiping those who are, and not asking money to Chinese or Xi Jinping. Give me money. The Muslim. Give me money. Yeah, give me money. That's what Muslims should should do. Not praying to the dead. I mean, like, I don't have physical money. Yes, I am, but I don't have the to give them. You know it's under Chinese, under the bankers. So I don't have the physical money. God doesn't have the physical money. Like, so they won't just do it. They should just, now I am asking them to beg to Chinese, you know, because they have the money. They have the money, the real money. I mean, like, physical money. Like, could you imagine I'm the money, right? And I'm the YufRIZAL or YufRIZAL SULAYMAN, and I owe public bank because of the car, you know, because of the car that I took loan from the public bank. And also, YufRIZAL SULAYMAN also took that. But he's a national hero. For example, Al-Ghazali, Al-Ghifari, right? He wrote books. Not Jose Rizal wrote books. I mean, where are the money? Where are the money? So, Universal Sener would be built for Jose Rizal or YufRIZAL SULAYMAN. That will be built in Nusa Nusa, South of Toyota, Mindanao, Philippines. Bintaolan, there is a Bintaolan Elementary School, and the university will be built in Nusa Nusa, South of Toyota, Mindanao, Philippines. And there is a high school in Tabawan, Southern Territory, Mindanao, Philippines. So, so yes, but Philippines should be under Chinese. Philippines should be under Chinese. So whatever Xi Jinping needs to have, because the financial would be Chinese, and of course those engineers and architects and the city planner need money, need salary, you know. So it's up to the Chinese under Xi Jinping how they are going to make that happen, you know. But the Universal Center should be built in Nusa Nusa, South Capital, in the Philippines. It's a beautiful flat islands, you know, and yes, uh, the airport could be built there, and also the dock, the 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 dock for example the port for the shipping companies, you know, or just to to transport goods and materials. It should be the goods should be straight from China, because China has everything that needs to everything. Chinese have everything that the cities needs to be built. But I don't want it to be like Dubai. There's no history. It's like it's like exhibition. Like when I joined the exhibition with my uncle, right, Ibrahim Kasim, right. I mean, like just few days. So let not Israel be just like an exhibition, because Israel has history. So let it not be like Dubai exhibition, and it will get destroyed. It will get destroyed in 2 to 3 days, for example. 2 to 3 days if cases. So I don't want Israel to have a, to just like an exhibition. No. So those, I mean, they should no, it shouldn't. I don't want Israel is just another American or just an exhibition like Dubai. I mean, like it's so. Nor would I want the trainer series in South Caribbean, in the Philippines would be just like Dubai. No, I don't want. I want it to be, slowly and carefully thought of. You know, just like the maze, but it's I want it to be carefully organized. Just but should be built by those with passion. With passion for the leaders or for the hero. I want love involved in building the Universal Center, and also the Universal Center. It has a university in it. Of course, it has a mall in it. Of course, it has a apartment, or I mean, like yeah, it's like a shopping complex in it. Yeah, Universal Center, meaning it has a shopping mall. It has a everything it needs. But you cannot have just a building but without the transport system. For example, the shipping companies or that. But this can be done with the help of Chinese. Thank you very much. It's almost 1 hour. Thank you very much to the Chinese. Thank you very much, Xi Jinping. Thank you very much, Kim Jong Un. Thank you very much. Ciao.